All right, guys, what is going on? Shoot, hold on. There we go. This is Matt, and that's Dan over there, and that's Opie on the other side of him. Why am I looking at this screen? I'm talking over here. We are live talking about tonight's episode of Game of Thrones,
What episode?
which was really just it was season 7, episode 6. If you're watching this way later, it was one of those episodes that was really kind of slow, mostly talking.
Filler episode,
Yeah,
a lot of character development.
filler episode. It was a
Tom Brady, not King. The greatest of all time.
filler episode, just setting up things to come. Mostly flashbacks of things we've seen already.
I love the fact that the Night King has become the new face of the NFL now.
Rocket
He's got
arm.
an arm on it, man.
He does.
He can put that ball down the field. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Lou likes
Laser
it.
rocket.
Laser rocket armor. Taking number 1 in the draft.
I know. I feel like I haven't been able to look at Twitter for a couple of hours because I wanted to avoid
We haven't
everything.
looked at Twitter since like Wednesday. All you
That's dedication.
naysayers out there, stop with your early watching.
Oh
Anyways.
my goodness. Yeah, I want to just click on this so I can watch it, or so I can look through it later.
What is it?
The
Twitter?
Game of Thrones hashtag on Twitter.
Yes. If you haven't seen the plethora of Game of Thrones hashtags yet, go to Twitter.
Lou, watch this one, Lou. Watch this one.
What do you...
Watch this one, Lou.
He makes the catch. Yes, he makes the catch. I hurried home from work to watch The Defenders, and I forgot about Game of Thrones. What is wrong with you, Rachel?
Wow.
That's okay. That's
not what
okay.
you do.
In this day and age, you don't have to. You don't have. It doesn't matter. You can just watch it whenever you want to.
Oh,
The Defenders
okay.
is good too. Just saying.
Game of Thrones.
Anyway,
Anyways,
all right.
let's get back.
Yeah, let's get to it. All right, so Game of Thrones, season 7,
Greatest ever.
season 7, episode 6.
Yes.
The next to last episode of the season. So normally I have like a half a page of notes where I try to write down like each of the different threads, each of the different
Huge, all your notes.
subplots that are going on.
in
And
my basement.
I wrote down barely anything because there wasn't. I'll say this: there wasn't a lot that happened, and what I mean by that is there wasn't a lot of different things. It was
He needs
basically
to keep up with all the different storylines happening.
Yeah,
this
it
one
was-
only was covered
yeah,
two.
it was
Really.
it was
Maybe
two
two
basically. So
storylines.
let's
We had no Lannisters, we had no King's Landing, we had no Dorne, we had no Turleys or Tarleys. Or
no
Tugleys.
Old Town, even though it was in the
No
opening.
Unsullied, no nothing, no Dothraki. You got one shot over here of a Tyrion talk, and then you got a shot of some Sansa Arya, and then it
Right.
was
Yeah,
all-
Rachel, watch.
all-
Yeah, don't watch this before you watch the episode first. This will
Yes,
be on the
we're
VOD
gonna
later.
Spoil the crap out of it.
Yeah, we're gonna spoil everything. So if you haven't watched the episode yet, please watch it first because we're gonna talk about everything. So let's get it out of the way. Let's talk about Sansa and Arya first.
Okay, let's
be-
do that, and then let's do Dany Tyrion, and then we'll do the big
Correct.
sweep. Of
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Rachel.
Okay. Right now, I'm kind of irritated with the show a little bit. I think they're making Arya out to be a straight psychotic. Well, like I said, she was acting like a big old bee, in my opinion, to her sister. If they could just talk, that's what's killing me. It's like your sisters. All right, I get it. You guys weren't best of friends when you left each other. A lot of crap's happened. Your family, though, just sit down. Somebody pull the trigger. Say, sit there. Now talk to me.
Yeah.
What happened to you? And I will tell you what happened to me. And have the crying out. Don't have Bran there because he's just going to tell bad stories. I'll tell you how bad it was. You just chill, have a conversation, and talk it out. Man, they are making Arya out to be a straight up a-hole to her sister, and just like scaring the
and
crap out of her.
Yeah, they're picking up right where they left off. Like right where they left, she still is jealous. She still thinks that Sansa's going to be Sansa, and Arya just doesn't like it.
I mean, I get it that Arya doesn't get, she doesn't know what Sansa went through. And again, Sansa has no idea what Arya went through. Again, this story is all about all of us knowing everything that happened and everybody else having parts of the story, and then finally getting it all cleared up when they finally talk to each other. dear Lord, just the two of them. But I mean, they're just making Arya over the top where she doesn't even talk to Sansa. It's like she wants to cut her down right now.
Well, let's back up. So we're talking about how Arya confronted Sansa about the scroll that she found. The scroll being the one that Sansa wrote to Robb. Now, help me out with this. Now, she wrote this before Ned died, right?
Right before.
Yeah.
She was doing it to save her father.
Correct.
So she sent the letter to her brother, who was in the north, about to move down. It was after the fight with Jaime and Ned, and Ned had his hurt leg. All that jazz was going on. He hadn't taken his head off yet. Joffrey hadn't taken his head yet. So yes, and they had tried to do the takeover of the kingdom after Robert passed away, and Ned sitting in chains, waiting, and everything like that. But they talked Sansa in. The whole council and Cersei and everybody else kind of persuaded Sansa.
She did it. She did it under duress. She was young at the time. I don't think that the Sansa now would have done the same thing, but the Sansa then was a young girl, and she was just trying to save her dad. Yeah. So she sent that scroll and said, "Hey, Robb, why don't you come down and bend the knee to King Joffrey, and we'll help save Dad and whatever." So Arya found that last week, confronted Sansa about it this week, and yeah. So I agree. They see. I don't like Arya in this situation because Sansa said they made me do it. They made me do it. Arya knows how evil Cersei is. Why is Arya being this way? Because when Sansa said they made me do it, Arya's response was, I don't remember what it was. It was like, oh, well, but you probably wanted it or something like that,
Well, she just kept playing the card of, you're Miss Prissy, always want to be a queen. You wanted to wear the pretty dresses and be with the beautiful boys. You wanted to be royalty. You're not on my level of blah, 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 And Sansa kind of throws it in her face a little bit, too. She's like, whoa, you were there. Why didn't you run up on stage and kill everybody if you're so, you're a bad mofo now, telling me I should have done everything I should have done. And Arya kind of plays it off again, like I wouldn't have betrayed my family and done this and blah, blah, blah. It's just two sisters fighting again. Yeah. They don't know each other and they need to talk to each other.
I mean, in a way, Sansa did more to save her dad than Arya did, in an attempt to try.
Right.
So basically, Littlefinger steps in.
Buddy Josh says the best thing in this other chat. I mean, I'm sorry he's not over here, but I think it's a setup for both of them to murder Littlefinger. I agree. I think we're all on the same page on that. I think it's a thing that they'll kill Littlefinger. Whether they may do it together too, but they got to talk to each other first, and have it like a decent conversation to get everything out. So, anyways, sorry, Matt.
So I was gonna say, well, so that's interesting. So you think that they're both going to kiss and make up, and say, "Wait a minute, Littlefinger."
It all comes down to family. Do you kill family?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. So, all right. So basically, Littlefinger steps in and tries to. He's driving that wedge a little bit more. And to Sansa saying, well, what do you think Arya will do? And she says, well, I don't know. I don't really know her anymore. He throws a thing out there about Brienne was pledged to watch over them both.
Oh, trying to play Brienne off of each other.
Right.
To get Brienne caught up in this too, that could get Brienne in trouble.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is like he's going to try to bring Brienne in as the way to kill Arya, or one of them. I don't know that he really cares.
He's playing. He's saying, Brienne, come in. You use Brienne against Arya, but Brienne's stuck in the middle. She's like, I got to protect them both. But if Arya's planning on taking this note to the council so the Northern men see that you wrote this letter, then that's not good for either one of you. So I'll stop Arya, which in turn causes chaos between those two. Now Arya doesn't trust Brienne. Sansa doesn't trust Arya, doesn't trust Brienne because she didn't finish her job. Littlefinger's got chaos going off all over the place and doesn't care because that's all he cares about is just causing problems.
Right.
So it's all about him. So it's going to take them finally just sitting down and having that, that family talk. What's that show on? They're gonna have an intervention.
Right. It's
like everybody. They're bringing all the family in.
You've affected my family by the following ways.
Dear Arya, I know you're a faceless man, and I still love you as a sister, but the ways you handle this is really bad.
So yeah. And then that goes back to what you guys were saying about they just need to sit down and talk, just hash it out. Which you would. I kind of thought was gonna be what happened this episode, but I mean, Arya is really sort of going off the deep end with this, or is she? I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's planning something bigger, but
Maybe
it
she
seems
may
like.
be. Go ahead. I'm
Well, I was
sorry.
gonna say,
keep
it seems
cutting
like
you
she's really going off the deep end. So, Sansa was in Arya's room, rummaging around, looking just through her stuff. She finds Arya's faces, which I would think those things would need to be preserved. Apparently, you can just throw them in a duffel bag.
I guess. Well, when you take them back, they're hung up nicely in a nice, cool room.
Yeah.
But in the bag, you just carry around. Justice and I agree with this too. I thought it was a ruse at first that they were playing on Littlefinger, but I don't agree with that because they're playing it so well against each other that I don't think either of them even think Littlefinger right now.
Right, they're not thinking about it, but I think they will. They'll get there, I think.
I think so too. I think Arya may have a deeper understanding of what Littlefinger's doing. Like she knows that he was watching her, that he knew that she was there.
Like I said last week, she knows that he knows that she knows, or something like that. But we don't know that. We don't know for sure right now. So Arya basically threatened Sansa and said, "Oh yeah, those are my faces. I learned how to take people's faces, and I can take their face. I can speak in their voice. I can become them and take their life. Take over their life." She talked about the game she played where she had to tell a lie and try to convince the person asking and all that, and she scared Sansa. And just for a second, just because you never know what's going to happen on this show, I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought maybe, but it didn't end up happening that way. But I don't think Arya is obviously not going to kill Sansa, but I think she wanted to put that fear in her as a way to say, "Don't mess with me." I don't really know.
I really want Arya just to I don't know. She's got so much confidence right now. I want like her dad to take a switch to her or something. Just beat her down a little bit. Somebody needs to knock her down a peg a little bit right now because she's walking around Miss Fancy Pants thinking she's the king of the castle there. She's like, I trained with the faceless people. I'm better than you.
It's almost
she's
like
pretty good, but I think they need to knock her down a peg.
Yeah, what I think it's almost like Arya needs to talk to Bran. And Bran needs to say, "Oh yeah, let me describe in detail what Sansa's gone through these last few years."
Hey,
there was this one night.
What happened to you, Arya? Remember when you saw Dad get his head cut off? Remember that? Wasn't that a bad day?
Let me ask you a question. When Arya went to and trained as a faceless man, did her allegiance to everything else, even family, didn't she give all that up? And maybe she took
it back at the end.
She was supposed to. If to go all the way, you have to renounce your name. You renounce everything.
See, that's
but she
didn't.
Trick.
Do you know? See, that's the rub. At the end, he tells her. She comes in and talks to him, and she's like, "Are you no one?" And she's like, "No, I'm Arya Stark." And he's like, "You figured it out." Like, no, what did she figure out? She's supposed to be a faceless man. Yeah. What has she figured out now? Like she knows who she is, but she's a faceless man too. So who knows what the test was at the end? They changed it anyways.
That's true. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, you passed the test, and you were gonna go one way, and
we really didn't want you. We wanted you to retain yourself, but also be a faceless woman.
Right. So so basically, Sansa and Arya are on very shaky terms right now. Who knows what's gonna happen? I'm with you guys. I do think it's gonna culminate somehow in one of them killing Littlefinger at some point. It won't be next week. It won't be this season, but at some point along the way, I think they are going to. I think it's going to backfire on Littlefinger. He's trying to drive the wedge in between them. They're going to overcome that, come together, and take him out.
Come together.
More on that. I guess. Well, no, they weren't. Yeah, there was a scene in Winterfell next week.
Yes, there's a scene of her walking the precipice or something.
But that's enough to tell me that they're going to be going to Winterfell.
It looks like it.
Next episode. And then the only other thing that happened was, just a few minutes north of the wall.
Yeah. We had some other stuff.
Yeah,
but, we thank everybody for watching. It was a great show.
So the A-Team goes north of the wall. And on a quest to capture a White Walker.
Right.
I hate this plan. I hate it so bad. We're going to go all the way north.
It's the only thing they can do.
I know, but I hate it so bad. We're going to go all the way north. We're going to fight a bunch of White Walkers in the hopes that we don't die and we can capture one of them. Hopefully we can keep that one alive, get him all the way back on the other side of the wall. And wait a minute. Whoa. Oh, wait, and then the plan is take that to Cersei and show her. Wait a second, though. Can they take a White Walker across the wall?
We don't know.
We're about to find out they took a hand of a White Walker across the
But
wall.
isn't that the whole thing? Our whole theory about Bran
There
being
was,
touched?
well, no, because there was a White Walker that was in Castle Black in one of the first seasons that Mormont fights and John kills, and that's how John ends up getting Longclaw
Longclaw.
because he protected the Lord Commander in his chambers and burnt the guy, and that's the hand they sent. So
Oh,
the undead can probably get across. It's the actual White Walkers themselves that we don't know if they can cross or not. That's who the undead they can send on.
so there's
knows
There's
how
a difference
far they
between the undead
Yeah.
and the white. Okay, my
Yeah,
bad.
the whites. You have the whites, and then you have the White Walkers.
Okay, right. And thanks, Lou. Actually, we skipped over that little Tyrion and Dany discussion. Let's talk about that real quick.
Oh yeah, we got to do that
Because
Yeah,
I made
we gotta
one
do that.
note. So basically, Dany and Tyrion are talking to each other, and
Well, it
Dany's
comes
telling
down
about how she trusts Tyrion and all that, but
Yeah.
she starts to get angry because he starts asking her about succession and how she can't have kids, and he's talking about you got to plan long term, and the kind of world you're trying to build doesn't get built in even in a
Well,
lifetime.
He's trying to slow her down.
Yeah.
because she's getting way too. She again is pretty cocky, but she can be. She hasn't lost anything. Well, tonight she did.
Mm. Yeah, we need to talk about that.
She's been very cocky, just like Arya is, where they feel like they're untouchable and invincible right now, and so she thinks so every move she makes is right, so she doesn't have to listen. So Tyrion, just like last episode with Varys talking to Tyrion, saying, "You need to calm her down. She needs to back up a little bit, or she's going to be Mad King material, and nobody's going to follow her." And so that's pretty much all Tyrion's saying to her. But he also brings up the succession stuff, and then she gets pissed because she makes mention that she can't have kids. And I think that hits her, and she's like, "Whoa, too much."
Yeah, but
And
she jumps
too
to
much.
conclusions pretty easy. 'Cause she
Too
says,
much.
"Oh, are you already thinking about my demise? Are you already thinking about what's going on after I'm dead?" And he says, "I'm trying to think about you not dying, and but I'm also trying to plan ahead and plan for the future and look at the long game." And I just made a note that says Dany getting angry, and she is. There was a article I didn't read it, but it said is Dany becoming the Mad King.
Not yet.
And I don't. Yeah, I don't. You're right. She's not yet, and I don't think she will. But I
She's
think
got to listen to people around her, though. She has. I think tonight will put
I
her
think tonight will.
to knock her down a peg or two. She's about to drop some. Plus, she thinks more of Jon Snow than the love of Jon Snow.
The love of an aunt and a nephew that aunts and nephews have, that familial love,
Woman who care about each other deeply. No, she is going to be in Jon Snow's council big time. She's going to listen to a ton of crap he's got to say. She'll probably listen to him a ton. She just lost the dragon tonight. She's like not on cloud nine for a while right now.
Yeah, Lou says Cersei's closer to the Mad King than Dany, and I agree with that.
Yeah. Yes, totally. That's why Jamie sticked at her. Although it's supposed to be Jamie ticked at her, he doesn't act it. Whatever. We had a conversation last week.
So that was all that is Dany earlier in the episode was jumping to conclusions, getting angry very quickly. Tyrion's trying to help, but he's trying to rein her in. So that, and we'll get
Which
back.
is his job.
Yeah, and we'll get back to that in a minute because I think you're right. I think this episode may have been the turning point for her. But before her turning point, we have the A-Team north of the wall.
Well, now hold on. You had one more talk between Tyrion and Dany before she flew off.
Right. That kind of goes into
Well,
related
I mean, it's the same thing. Tyrion is actually just fighting tooth and nail for her not to do this again, because again of the succession. This time, I think he is so scared that she's going to die that he doesn't want her to leave at all. I mean, heck, he starts getting teared up and emotional there at that point.
He's scared.
Yeah, he's scared to death she's gonna get killed. And he's like, "Don't do this. Leave it be. Stay here. You don't need to go fight all this stuff on your own." And she's like, "Nope. You told me to wait last time. It failed. I'm going this time." So, anyways, back to what you were going.
A-Team north of the wall. This crazy cockamamie
7.
plan to capture one White Walker out of all of them, or I guess just a Walker.
And it was going well.
It was going well until let's see, they got attacked by a zombie polar bear.
Zombie polar bear.
Woo!
First of all, best creature for a D&D game.
Wow.
Yeah. Which I'm
That
thinking,
was a
I'm
fight to
thinking,
have, man.
your move, Walkers on The Walking Dead, because the animals, they eat the animals, but the animals don't turn.
That's true.
This one, the animals do turn.
Straight up, we get what is his name? Thoros. I think it's Thoros. He gets mauled a little bit while the Hound kind of sits there watching, but the Hound really can't attack because he's scared to death of fire. He can, but he's
that's
still
right.
has
It's
that
fire. I was thinking that's right because I noticed. So the Hound very visibly is hesitant to kill the bear.
He probably could have saved Thoros in that moment if he would have acted, but fire always makes him retreat. He's very scared.
That's right. That's why he hesitated. So because of that, what was his name again? Thoros, right?
Thoros, I think Thros.
I'm so bad with the names. But yeah, so he gets all chewed up.
Red Priest. There you go. Let's just call him the Red Priest.
So last week when we saw the image of damn it, what's his name? The other guy with the eye patch.
Which one?
Barrick?
Darian?
Yeah.
Barrick Darian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we saw him like make the sword go up in flame, I thought, oh, is that the Lightbringer? But obviously that's just a thing that
That's just the lightsaber.
that's the Game of Thrones version of the lightsaber. That's just a thing that they can do. Well, you know what they ripped that off of? They ripped that off of How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Yep, that's what they went to. They were looking at that and like
because Hiccup did the same thing with the flaming sword.
It
riding a dragon.
It could have been from a set of books that were written.
This book hasn't been written yet. Okay.
The sword was already flaming before this happened.
Not in this book.
He used the flaming sword against the Hound when he got killed by the Hound in a fight when he was.
Not in this story. It's not been written.
So you're right. Train Your Dragon 2 was their source material.
Right. Well, they ride dragons in it. I'm just saying.
It's canon. You're right. It's canon.
Harry Potter ripped off Lord of the Rings.
Actually, the best I thought what was really cool. First of all, I was geeking out. The first 20 minutes of everybody just talking with each other is some of the best dialogue in the world. You got Gendry getting hit on by Tormund.
Sort of.
You got Tormund making fun of the Hound, which is so awesome.
Yeah.
That whole conversation between those two is great. You have Jorah and Jon kind of make up buddy. Gendry makes up with the brothers after the Hound tells him to quit being a wuss.
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of just really good conversations between all those guys going back and forth, all of them, what happened between all the different ones.
A lot of good dialogue.
Somebody put on Twitter Gendry triathlon: rowing, running, and hammering.
Boy, that boy can sprint, huh?
He really can.
They must have. I mean, they only walked for 20 minutes in this episode, and they had just left the wall, so it was like the actual distance they had all gone. They could still see the wall behind them as they were walking away around into him. That's how Gendry got there.
If the writers of Dragon Ball Z would have wrote this, they would have been. You know how long
that trip would have been 25 episodes, and in the season, right when he lands back, boom.
Wow. Hey, Chrism HC, greetings from Greece.
Hey.
Wow. How are you? Thanks for being here.
Appreciate it.
Whoa, Chrism HC, you follow me, bro? There's your punch. That you can keep that. You can. It will replay all the episodes of Game of Thrones for you.
It will take down a dragon.
It will turn one into ice. Thank you so much for the follow. We sincerely appreciate it.
So, anyways, that I wanted to talk about that. That conversation, all that stuff was great. All that interaction between all those guys is super awesome. You can see 7 of the main characters just having fun together.
Right. So okay. So I wanted to talk about that too. So they brought a lot of red shirts with them.
Yes, they had to.
And all the red shirts died.
Yeah.
There wasn't one red shirt that made it out alive. And we didn't. And I didn't expect there would be. Plus, I thought at least one of the Brothers Without Banners would die, and that happened too.
I thought both. I thought we were gonna lose both.
You thought? Yeah, I thought it was possible.
I thought Darian was gonna go. I thought this was the fight that he had lived up to this
exactly,
point.
and he even mentioned that. He said, "Well,
he thinks his fight was to that point." Yeah.
Yeah, the extra ones died, Chris. That's right. The extra ones did die. We kind of expected that. Yeah, the dialogue. I swear, I would give anything for just a Tormund spinoff.
Tormund Hound Buddy Cop Show.
I'm telling you.
Well, no, because we've already got Jamie Brand Buddy Cop Show.
Right.
So Tormund and Hound own a pizzeria, and I don't know.
Well, that would come after the Sam and Gilly sitcom, the TGI of Sam and Gilly sitcom.
The Sam and Gilly the sitcom, followed by the the Brandon Jamie buddy cop show. Well, okay, so Brandon Jamie could be like the serious buddy cop show, and then Hound.
Well, you know what it is? It's Law and Order. So in Law and Order, like the first half is like the detectives, and then the second half is the lawyers. So it's the same show. It's Jamie and Braun, and then the second half is
they're all in it.
Yeah, they're all and Tormund and the Hound. So Tormund and the Hound are like the bounty hunters that go get the bad guy, and then Jamie and Braun are the ones that like decide his punishment, whatever.
Tormund and the Hound sounds
they're
like
private
Turner
investigators.
Good
call, Lou.
There they go. It's like Turner Hooch and Turner Hooch or whatever. Anyways,
Turner and the Hound.
Yeah, Turner and the Hound. Tormund and the Hound.
Tormund and the Hound. So yeah, so that just solidified my love for Tormund even more, which made me flip out when. Did anybody else think that Tormund was gonna die?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I thought. Yeah.
I was totally prepared. I was prepared.
I was ready to cry. I had my tissues next to me. I was ready to, call Brienne on the phone, let her know her husband was gone. I was scared. I'm scared there. But the Hound and Jorah coming in, MVP players on the rock in the middle of the water, pulling him out. I
thought that was neat because Tormund was sort of poking at the Hound, and Tormund also was upset with Jorah the last episode because his father hunted wildlings.
Right. Yep.
And vice versa, and they had that little exchange last week, so it was cool to see them.
I think it comes down to I think it's respect of fighters.
Yeah,
they all have their differences of what they believe in and everything, but they also understand the bigger picture of what's happening, and all of them seem to have a decent respect for Jon Snow and what he's trying to do, so they fight together as a team. And maybe it was selfishness of them saving Tormund so that there's another person there fighting next to him as they're fighting off every one of these whites that they know they're not going to win.
I did love that you mentioned when we were watching it that they will, like, two of them rush in to save Tormund. Nobody tries to save the red shirts.
Not the red shirt guy.
Not the red shirts.
Right next to freaking Derek or Barrick Dondarrion, and he's just fighting by himself on his cliff, and he goes. He's gone.
So, all right. So there was so much. I'm all over the place. So they capture the undead that they wanted.
They find a group, and we find something out.
Oh, we did.
Jon kills the White Walker again because his sword was. We know Valyrian still will take them down. We also learned that whichever ones that are either changed by that specific White Walker die right along with the White Walker. So it's just like the old saying, cut the head off the snake and the body will die. So you kill the Night King, which in turn then kills everything else, is the theory crafting.
Which I think that's a pretty good theory. Do you think it's do you think that's cheesy?
No, I don't think that's cheesy. The whites are just fodder. That's all they are.
Yeah.
You saw them during, what was it, Hardhome? Is that the name of the place? Hardhome? When they were just falling off the mountain, just completely just bombarding, just dropping. They didn't care. They're all undead, so it didn't matter. But, it's just they're fodder. They're just cannon fodder. That's it. The walkers themselves, the White Walkers, are actually the tougher ones who, those guys have to be killed, I guess, by Valyrian still or by something else. I don't even know if fire works on those guys. We know fire just works on the whites. So,
did Sam kill a White Walker or a white?
Oh,
that's
White Walker.
Was it a Walker?
I think it was a White Walker.
If anybody knows, please post. I think it was a Walker that he
Dragon
Glass, which he then threw away. And ran away.
Jorah's sitting there fighting with dragon glass daggers. First of all, he's playing rogue in the group.
Yeah. And you notice Tormund's axe was dragon glass too. He changed it. He had a dragon glass. Yes.
Okay.
Because if you watch and I was kind of wondering why they didn't do just a little scene of maybe Jon Snow like giving them those weapons
which is good because then he's got dragon glass, Jorah's got it, Jon's got the Valyrian still, he's fine. Barrick, he's fighting with a flaming sword, so he's gonna knock those guys out. It was a full White Walker. Yeah, that's what I thought. So thank you, Josh. Or Monica, thank you.
How are they watching this? Why am I not seeing them in chat?
I'm in a Google hangout with some people that I play D&D with.
Okay.
And we're in a chat over here. I told them about us doing the show and they wanted to watch.
All
So it's Josh, Monica, John, and Tracy. Hi, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, so he kills a full on with drag glass. The other guys are all covered with drag or way to protect themselves against the whites. So, but the good thing we learned from that first part was just that kill the walker, it kills all of the undead that he turned. Great
Right.
little.
That's why
spot there.
that's why that one didn't die. So they capture that one. They're on their way back. What happened while they're tying him up? He lets out this scream,
Yes, he
basically,
kinda
which
says
calls the
warning.
whole rest of the friggin' army, and they start to run away. They run across a frozen lake. They
Which afterwards we find out that was a smart move because how do you get 7 guys to escape thousands of undead? You put them on an island in the middle of a lake that's got loose ice.
right. They take refuge on a rock. The ice breaks all around, and the White Walkers can't get there until the Hound, in all his infinite wisdom, starts throwing rocks at him, and he throws one, comes up short, skids across the ice. They realize, wait a minute, the water's frozen again because it's the next day. I guess they stayed there overnight.
Okay, so you had them stay overnight. We lose Thoris overnight. Gendry's made it back to the wall. They've already got a Raven down, which some of the memes will be an F-14 on Twitter. Makes it to Dragonstone. Daenerys is already warned there. They're back up now through the night, ready to go. They yell at Barrack because he could have had his flaming sword on all night. So
Right.
warm.
You mean you could have made a fire
all night long? Thanks, bro. And then the Hound starts trying to pick off whites with rocks. And that's where we get the skipping across the island. And then the whites start coming in faster and faster. But yeah, and that's where the big battle starts. Tormund
real
is
quick.
dragged down. Go ahead.
Did anybody, you guys or anybody watching, think that Gendry was going to die on his way back to the wall? Did you think something was going to happen?
No.
They kept the camera with him for a while, so it made it look like, yeah, something was going to go down. And then it just was, he saw the wall, then he falls down right outside in Davos.
And Sir Davos comes out and gets him. I didn't think that they were going to reintroduce Gendry to the show after 4 years just to have him die running back to the wall. But I didn't know if he was going to get kidnapped or something. But that made me nervous. It made me nervous because he went back without his hammer. He didn't have a weapon.
Yeah,
and that's what made me nervous. I was like, he doesn't have a way to defend himself. Even if he runs into one of them, he can't defend himself. He doesn't have a weapon.
The good thing was, I mean, they had killed the scouting party. They had killed the polar bear. All the whites were coming from behind. It only saw John and his team, so Gendry was kind of in the safe after he took off.
And they seem to travel in packs, so I guess.
Yeah. So he was gone. He made it back. Gets the Raven, goes, gets Danny. Danny comes down. We got all of them fighting. It looks like it's going to end again for all these guys. They're ready to die. Tormund takes a fall. He almost gets killed. He's saved by Jorah, saved by the Hound, which was a really good scene. You see the fear in Tormund's eyes at that point too when he's finally getting pulled up.
Yeah, he was scared. I've never seen him that way before, but he was scared. I think at one point he even cried out, "Help me!" or something like that. Like
yes,
he was scared.
Yeah, you can tell. I like it when that happens because it's like, fear is you're about to die.
Yeah, it sort of humanizes him a little bit. Yeah. I mean, all these badass and these manly men, and I live to fight, and if I die, then that's my destiny.
That's my purpose in life.
Yeah,
but
except he was scared as hell.
Everybody's scared to death.
Yeah,
yeah, they don't want to die. So yeah, and they're all fighting. Everything's going bad, and what happens? Danny comes in and burns the house down. She starts toasting everything with her 3 dragons and just tearing it up and just melting everything. You're like, finally, the heroes are gonna win.
We saw what we've been wanting to see, for years. That's been the theme of this season for me anyway. Is this season has given me so much of what I've wanted to see for a long time. I've wanted to see Jon and Dany get together. I've wanted Jon to talk about, I don't give a damn about your battle for the throne. There is there's a larger threat coming from the north. We got to hear about Sir Davos when he said fire would be great against White Walkers, and you know what breeds fire? Dragons. I'm like, I've wanted somebody to connect all these dots, and I wanted all these characters to meet up, and I wanted all this.
You guys don't know which dragon died, did you?
The one with the V. Starts with a V.
Okay. The one that starts with a V. We're terrible with the Viserion.
It's the... I can't hold on. I'll tell you what the name of it is.
Yeah, it wasn't Drogon. So,
It was not Drogon.
That's
It
the only one
was.
we know. I don't think we know the other two. We're
Well,
terrible with the names in Game of Thrones.
there's Rhaegar and
Drogon.
Viserion.
vasectomy.
Yeah.
Samsonite.
Samsonite. So
It
cool.
was right there on his wing.
Anyways, yeah, so they're blowing fire, they're killing everything, they're doing what they're supposed to do, and then the Night King, they're all loaded up on Drogon, and everybody's like, "Oh, John's gonna ride a dragon! Oh, we do it! He's a Targaryen! The world's the same, and all so it's amazing." And then John's like, "No, I gotta play. You know, I gotta jump on this grenade. I gotta keep all these whites off you guys. You get out of here. I'll join you later. Send in a second dragon to pick me up. Whatever." And,
We thought John was gonna ride a dragon.
yeah, and then Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion. There you go. So
Yeah.
I think it was Viserion.
Yeah. It was.
And Night King, straight up, Joe Montana, Viserion, with a super spear of ice, and puts him down. And Dany flips out, of course. Everybody
Well,
flips
she
out.
doesn't,
Nobody
but
thought
she
a
doesn't
dragon-
really though. So she keeps her head about her.
I think so, but you can see in her face, she's like, well, that's in everybody. It's like the jaw drop moment. Like, he just one shot a dragon. Is that
Right.
cool? Is that normal?
Play of the game.
So what's interesting about that too is think about how easy the Night King took down a dragon with a spear versus when Bronn shot Drogon with a giant arrow, which was basically a you could say it was a big spear as well. Think about how
Yeah, but the Night King threw it way faster.
that's what I'm saying though.
Way harder.
That's how powerful. That's how way more powerful the
And
Night
I
King
want you
is.
guys to understand this. This is the comment Matt makes before this happens. I'm like, oh, she's gonna lose a dragon. He's like, how? What is the Night King gonna do? You know, the guy that can raise thousands of undead. What has he got that can do anything?
What I
He's
meant
only
by
king
that
of
is where I was coming from is that you're gonna have 3 dragons buzzing the tower back and forth, lighting everything on fire. The Night King is down here on the ground, and I was like, what's he gonna do? And then he shows me, yeah, and then I saw.
They're like, a scorpion fired a bolt at it and it couldn't bring it down. And Night King's like, hold my iced tea.
Was it a hold my beer moment?
It was a hold my beer.
Hold my beer. I got this. And yeah, Night King takes him down. Dany King flips out. They go. John, drug underwater. Sinking. They're leaving. They're gone. John's underwater. Everybody doesn't know what's going on. And all of a sudden, we see the hand come up out of the water. We're all like, whew, thank goodness they don't have to res John from the dead again.
Right.
We're good. It's cool. He's fine. He gets out. He thinks he's going to have to fight again because they turn around and see him there. He's shivering, freezing to death. And in comes old Cold Hands. And he comes rocking around, just nailing him. Man. He's got that freaking, what is it? Not really a morning star, but just the chain with the morning star on the end of it, just lighting everything up coming through there. He just busts him up, throws John on the back of the horse, sends him off, and we lose Cold Hand. But that's okay. He did his part. He did his part.
Well, and they brought up a good point in the bit after the episode where Benjen's been kind of living in this purgatory. He's half dead, half alive. He can't cross the wall. He's been looking for his moment. He saved Bran, and now he saved Jon. And that's what that was his thing. And so that was a great way for him to go out, is saving his family.
Yeah. Well,
in their time of need.
Yeah, Monica makes point of here. So is John being bored of ice and fire going to take the ice dragon? Doubtful. I don't think so. Maybe. I mean,
I said that too.
We were talking. Yeah, I was about to say we were talking about that during the episode. How's John out of this predicament now? You know, we thought here he stands by himself. Is the dragon going to come out of the water behind him and protect him because he understands that Jon's a Targaryen, so he protects Targaryens? But it ended up being Benjen. Whether he tames the ice dragon later, we'll find out as the show goes on. But we'll see.
I kind of feel like, okay. So hold on. This is important. So let's talk about theories for a second, or theories that have been out there.
Here we go.
No, well, okay. So So Dany's a dragon rider. We all know that Jon's going to ride a dragon at some point. Truth. And then the theory is, well, there's 3 dragons. Who's going to be the other dragon rider? Oh, Tyrion. Right. Maybe he's a Targaryen. Well, maybe he's going to ride a dragon too. Well, there's only 2 dragons now. There's only 2 living dragons.
Well, there's 3 technically.
Well, but it would. What am I trying to say? it would
Well, if the
make
Night King dies, that would remove the third dragon, so it would still be
right. So it would make sense that because I'm with you too. I was thinking, well, maybe even if the dragon doesn't save him, the one that got iced, maybe even if the dragon doesn't save him now, maybe Jon will tame the ice dragon since he's ice and a Targaryen. Maybe he will tame and ride the ice dragon. But I think more plausible is that we're just left with two dragons and two people that can ride them, and then that kind of takes the whole Tyrion Targaryen dragon riding thing out of it.
They may have been trying to knock that whole theory to death, where they said, okay, Dany, the three heads of the dragon, part of the Azor Ahai prophecy, blah, blah, blah. Is Tyrion that third dragon rider, the third Targaryen that's there because his father said this, and we knew that the Mad King had affairs with Tywin's wife, stuff like that. So there was always the theory that those were the three Targaryens. They're all going to be riders. That would have been fine up until the point where we kill a White Walker, it kills everything that it had possessed and taken over. Once that happens and you kill the dragon, now the Night King has it. The only way that would work is if there always has to be a Night King in the world. Kind of like in World of Warcraft, there always has to be a Lich King. But you have to have a Night King in the world that controls that area up there. And if that's true, then the Ice Dragon can live through that. If not, then if the Night King dies, that dragon dies as well.
Plus, that dragon is dead.
Yeah.
So Lou's saying hard pass on taming the ice dragon. They can't tame the White Walkers, and yeah, I mean, absolutely, that sounds very. I mean, that's common sense. I'm just thinking, what if?
Yeah.
Well,
what if the Night King isn't actually a bad guy? Well, there's lore to that as well from many years past. Like the humans weren't supposed to go beyond the wall and be out there in all of his territory. They're raiding on his territory. That's why he's back, because of the wildlings, because of everyone who keeps traveling that far. So is he really a bad guy? Is he not a bad guy? There's who he was before he became the Night.
He's just defending his house from a home invasion.
Right, exactly. He's getting all the kids off his lawn.
Yeah.
So there could be there's theories to that, but who knows if that's not. Maybe they'll even explore that.
I think we'll learn that next season, probably through Bran.
The history of the Night King, yeah, because we know the Children of the Forest were the one that created him.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to know who he was
before,
and then all that jazz. So
apparently, there's an actual Digimon card called a Blue Eyes White Dragon, and there's so many memes of.
That's the Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sorry.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sad that I knew that. Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Dude.
Yes,
and the question. So the question is the dragon going to breed ice?
That's a good question too. I would think
that would be cool.
It would be.
That would be sweet.
Dude, talk about they're like the soldiers charging in. He just freezes them all, standing there in one blast. That'd be pretty neat. I like it a lot. We'll do that.
So Jon gets back to the wall. Dany's still there. They literally break his clothes off of him because it's frozen, which I thought was pretty neat.
I did too.
They get him
sees the wounds.
Yeah. So Dany sees the scar on his chest because Sir Davos mentioned he took a knife to the heart. Dany questions Jon. He's like, Davos, he drinks or whatever, And but she sees the wounds and she sees the multiple wounds. But she doesn't ask him about them, which I kind of thought she would. She probably will later. But they share a moment, a very platonic, familial moment that aunts and nephews share when they see each other.
Keep thinking that, Matt. Keep thinking that. They're in love. They're gonna do it Targaryen style. Yeah. They're gonna get it on.
But yeah, so they're on and this all happens they're on a boat back to Dragonglass. Or I guess they're going to Dragonglass, right? Are they going straight for King's Landing? I don't know where they're going.
I don't know. No, they're going to go. I would think they go to Dragonstone, but who knows? Well, they got to pick up Tyrion, so they got to.
Yeah, that's true. Dragonstone, not Dragonglass.
Yeah. Dragonglass is at Dragonstone. Good call.
Right. That's
anyways,
what I mean.
We've already talked about it, but the very last scene, of course, is the Whites dragging the dragon out from the deep. And the Night King come over and turn it in.
After stopping by the chain store.
The chain store. Chains are us. They brought
right. That's what I want to know. Where do White Walkers get big chains like that? They just have them laying around.
Actually, John, you said, it's dead. Living people don't become walkers either. That's not true. The White Walker guy that was sleeping with all his daughters actually was sacrificing the children out to the forest.
Yeah.
And those babies were being picked up by the White Walkers and taken to wherever the White Walker lived. And when he touched them, they actually turned into a living White Walker. They weren't a white. They were a White Walker. They weren't an undead.
Right.
So, yeah.
So the whites are more like the traditional zombies.
The White Walkers are actually living people who have been turned into a White Walker. So, yeah. I mean, it's a good point. I think the dragon was dead, too, right along with what you said. I think the dragon's dead. He just pulled him out, made him a White Walker, made him an undead dragon. That's all he made him. But the White Walkers themselves are actually people. Yeah, you got it, bro. You with me?
I mean, we'll find out. I mean, yeah. I mean, if it's the dragon. I mean, that dragon was just spewing blood as it was nosediving into the.
Amazing scene, man. It was just. It looked almost like when he hit him with the spear, it almost ripped his side off, like completely off of him, man.
All right, so something we can't ignore is the conversation between John and Danny on the boat at the end when she says, "I've seen it, and you have to see it in order to." Basically, she was saying you have to see it to believe it. You have to really see it. And she says, "I will fight with you. We will defeat the Night King. I promise."
John says,
"I would." Thanks. He calls her Danny, which I thought was weird. It was cool, but it was weird. Where did that come from?
I think he was just trying to make it, I guess, more intimate or more comfortable between the two. Like they've been through so much crap now together. This whole moment,
right?
It's like, okay, I can call you by your first name, right? Is that cool?
Because we're on a first name basis now. But he says, I would bend the knee if I could get up. So basically saying he will accept her as queen. She's concerned about all the people that follow him. He says they'll come to accept it once they see what I see.
It's like a no-brainer. He doesn't want to lead. He needed somebody that he could respect and somebody that would defend him and somebody who would take him seriously. And he needed somebody to save his life. And she did all three of those. And she's willing to lead. She's willing to believe him now because she's seen everything that's happened. And she came when he called for her service and he needed her the most. So he's got nothing but respect, admiration, love, whatever you want to call it. He trusts her now more than anything. And he's like, don't worry, I'll call you queen all day long. You've gained my respect completely as being a person I will follow.
Yeah.
So I think that is a total just, duh.
I mean, because she could have just sent the dragons.
Yeah.
But she came herself, and that's something that and I kind of got that feeling that he realized that you could see it when he saw her, because he looked up and saw her on the dragon when she first got there. Yeah. And I kind of thought that's what he was thinking was, you came yourself, you didn't just set, Angel Christ, is there a possibility in the next episode there's wildfires set up on the lands where the soldiers are? Cersei somewhere in the episode has a miscarriage, goes to the meeting, she goes completely mad and uses the wildfire. Jaime sees how she's gone to the level of Mad King and kills her.
Wow, that's
interesting. I don't think that will happen in the next episode.
I don't know. The way time flies in Westeros.
Well, that's true.
We've already gone through. Cersei's now old, crazy, and senile, living in a tree.
I like that thought, and I think that. See, that's the thing. Is like, and we talked about miscarriage.
It won't go over well with Sansa either, John. I agree with that.
I still think that Cersei is not pregnant, or at least not pregnant with Jaime's baby. One or the other. I think that she is not pregnant with Jaime's baby, if at all. I think she's saying that to keep him reined in because she knows that he's slipping. Even though you said, Dan, your whole thing is that they're doing it still.
Yeah, totally. I don't think they're doing a great job at all that Jaime's going to kill her. I think he still will. I told you that, but I think they're doing a terrible job.
I think the seed, they have planted the seeds early in the season about he isn't fully with her.
There's no. You are going off of a look. He has banged.
That's all you need. Have you ever watched TV ever? That's all you need.
Hit that booty just 2 episodes ago. And
It
then
was
he's
hate
all like-
sex.
And then all of a sudden she's like, I'm pregnant. He's like, I love you so much. And grabbed her and kissed her. And
Okay, hold on.
They're
So-
picking out like clothes for the baby, names, all that stuff.
So hold on. So Angel Christ is the witch said she was only to have 3 children, so fourth isn't a possibility when it comes to the
Correct.
witch's prophecy. So exactly, fantastic point. That's why I think she's not pregnant
or she
at all, or if she and then Lou says she's not intimate with anybody else. I call bullshit on that. I think she has already she has hooked up with Euron already.
Listen, by this time, I don't think it's Euron. By
No.
this time in the books, she has slept with everybody in King's Landing to get them on her side, and she is as drunk as a skunk all the time. She is straight up alcoholic. So, I mean, she's been banging everybody and anybody in that place, so it could be anybody's baby.
It may be
But I
Gendry's
believe
baby.
I believe that she's probably pregnant. I say she has a miscarriage or something like that. I don't think she's lying.
Or
But we'll see.
is she honestly pregnant and with Jamie's baby and he kills her anyway?
That's pretty harsh, man. That's harsh and Armello, bro. That's pretty tough.
Or she is pregnant but not with Jamie's baby. Jamie finds out that she lied about being pregnant with his baby. That's the last
is
straw and he
Jamie
runs.
Yeah, but was Jamie that dirty that he straight up killed baby? I mean, that's a pretty harsh thing, man.
I don't know. I mean,
Cersei sucks, but pregnant Cersei's pregnant Cersei. Do you run a sword through pregnant Cersei? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, you killed Rob's wife while she was pregnant with her baby. They had Freys do that, so I mean, they're not afraid to do that.
I don't think he would do it if it's his own. It's not.
We'll see. I think it's
Matt, you're making
making
my. Is that your head hurt? Look, why am I the only one thing? If Jamie is a Kingslayer, he might as well be the Queenslayer as well. Yeah, so that's our theory.
Yes,
and
we're
that's
going with that,
everybody's theory. Is Jamie is going to kill Cersei at some
He'll
point.
be the one that takes her down.
Yeah, it definitely won't be next episode. But yeah. So Danny and John are. Danny is okay. So what I wanted to get back to real quick, and I know we're getting short on time.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Sorry, but so we talked about Tyrion and Danny, and we've said it. So we've done this show. We've done this show for the entire season so far,
Yes.
and almost every week we say Danny hasn't lost yet, and she's going to experience a loss at some point, and that's going to ground her. That's going to bring her down a peg or two. And that happened this episode. So that was a major turning point. Is she experienced that loss finally? And I think
Go ahead, Matt.
I think her losing vasectomy is what is going to that's the thing that's going to level her back out.
Good old Viceroy. Vinny.
Yeah.
Vinny's what we call him.
That's the thing that's going to calm her down.
Well, you got to look at this way too. You know, she's been playing this whole thing where you need to bend the knee. Oh, I'm so mad you're not bending the knee. It makes me angry all the time. Bend the knee. Just bend the knee. She's seen the White Walkers. She's going to become a Jon Snow. She's going to meet up with Cersei. They're going to have this big old talk. Cersei's going to be like, you need to bend the knee. They're like, who cares about the knee?
Right.
There's death coming from above. Get out of here. Run for your lives.
Yeah, which leads us into the trailer for next week, which looks really good. I actually don't know.
Looks like everybody's meeting everybody.
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be that action-packed. I think that's what this episode was for. But it's still going to be very emotional-packed in that I don't know that I'll be able to breathe the whole episode because you've got everybody meeting with everybody.
Dude, what if like the Magnificent Seven's there with them? So you got the Hound, you got Tormund, you got Beric, you've got Jon, you've got Gendry, you've got Davos, you got Tyrion, you got Grey Worm, you got Melisandre, or not Melisandre, you got what's her name? Missandei.
Yeah.
You've got Cersei, Jamie, Bronn. It's like everybody in the series is now met or about to meet at this one spot.
I know that's the thing is like everybody we've been watching is all coming together.
There.
Everybody we were finally except for Sansa and Arya.
Yes,
They're still up there.
Brian will touch into a tree, and then it'll be like, "I'll bring it to you live broadcast via Godswood." It's brought to you by Godswood.
Angel Christ says Danny and John are family, but they can still go for it, and that's something I don't think I'm against.
You think Brienne at the meeting is going to be Arya wearing Brienne's face?
Whoa.
Ooh. So yeah, Monica said this earlier. She said, "What if Arya or Brienne goes for this meeting?" Because Arya has bested Brienne in a duel. And,
That was a tie.
And Arya kills Brienne, takes her face, goes to the meeting to kill Cersei. I don't think they take Brienne and Tarth out like that, man.
Angel Christ says, "You follow me, bro. Cool. Thank you so much for the follow. We sincerely appreciate it." Whoosh. There is your punch. You can keep that, and you can bring dead dragons back to life with it.
His punches are amazing.
They are. Yeah, I mean, you've heard all the things they can do for people. I'm gonna have to shoot you guys. Oh yeah, thanks, Angel Christ, for the comments. We sincerely appreciate it. Yeah. So next week. So wait, what now? So Brienne, Arya's gonna.
So this is Monica's thing. Okay. She said Arya's going to either kill Brienne when she goes on the meeting, whatever. They have a fight because she can beat her. She kills her, takes her face, goes to the meeting, kills Cersei at the meeting as Arya, as Brienne.
Nah, I don't think so.
Naysayer.
I mean, yeah, they're not. I mean, Brienne's a good guy. They're not going to have Arya kill.
I don't want Brienne to die, and I don't want Arya to kill her because this is mean. Because then it makes them both suck. Because then Brienne's dead, and Arya becomes a bad guy, and I don't like her anymore.
Yeah, I don't.
Although she's getting that way now. She's getting annoyed, and I'm getting tired of it. They need to bring her back to Arya super killer, but also a really cool character.
They will. So I think that Arya as Jaime. See, I don't think Arya is going to. I think Arya's arc is she is there for the rest of. I don't want to say the rest of the series, but she is there to take care of Littlefinger. That's what she's gonna do. She's going to stay in Winterfell, doing Winterfell things with Littlefinger and all that.
But I want Sansa to kill Littlefinger. It'd be so more satisfying. It's like when Ramsay died. You don't want Jon to beat him to death in the Battle of the Bastards. You want Sansa to feed him to the dogs. Yeah. You want Sansa to make the kill on Littlefinger, too, for being the liar he's been all this time.
Arya kills Jaime, then kills Cersei in Jaime's face.
Arya's already had she had a mega kill with the phrase, man. She wiped that family off the planet. That's an awesome kill and straight payback. So let's give Sansa a couple kills. Let's give her part of the family.
I mean, I think, well, and it goes back to the prophecy where Cersei gets killed by her little brother, and Jaime is just a few minutes younger, and then there's Tyrion too. So
that's that whole point of whether it's Tyrion or Jaime. So that's still up in the air too. So everybody wants it to be Jaime, but who knows?
I mean, it could. I could see it be Tyrion, and I would be satisfied.
Obvious, yeah, it's the most obvious point.
But yeah, I think it's got to be Jaime though. I mean, Jaime proper, actual Jaime. I think it's got to be. But yeah, so everybody in the entire show comes together.
Yeah, it is true. I didn't notice the other face. I knew she pulled out more faces, but I don't know whose face it was that she pulled out. So she pulls out for Walder Frey.
Yeah, I thought it was just another random face that she had.
That would have been interesting if we would have been able to tell who that other face was. I wonder if that was. There's going to be some theory crafting on Game of Thrones Reddit this week. People, pay attention to it.
I mean, I can pull it up real quick. Well, we're short on time though.
Yeah, we gotta go. It's already 11:15.
But yeah, so next week, do we have any? So even in the trailer, we didn't get any talking. I don't think, except for Jon Snow saying right at the end, saying there's a greater battle. I don't remember what the phrase was, but there's a greater battle.
Well, now they are meeting with Cersei to explain it to her. So they're bringing the White Walker to her. They're going to show her what this is.
Their asinine plan actually worked to capture a White Walker or a Walker.
Strongest guys in the country fighting up there. You're going to get a win.
Predictions real quick. Is Cersei going to buy into it?
I think she may try to set up a trap. I don't know what it'll be. All right, so now this is the last episode of the season, people. I thought it was the wall coming down. It may still happen at the end of the episode. I don't know.
It could happen at the tail end of next week.
It could be, but we don't know. This is a meeting of all the big heads of state, so this is going to be all the marbles there. I don't know. I think it's just a talk, and if Cersei takes it or not, and if Cersei thinks it's a trap or not.
I mean, we
I
know
think
that they
Cersei-
talk about
I
it,
think-
but
yeah,
is Cersei
I
gonna?
think Cersei sets a trap. I really.
You think so?
I really do.
If they bring her proof and they say that
But you have all the Unsullied sitting out there,
yeah.
and all the Dothraki come charging down the hill behind the Unsullied, and Jaime and Bronn are in a tower somewhere. So I don't know if those are all off fighting a different war, and whoever's meeting at this pit to talk about this, where they are actually at. And even if Dany's dragons are there.
Hey, real quick. So, Angel Crisis. So we do this show. It's not exactly the same time every week. So the three of us watch Game of Thrones together, but we don't watch it right when it airs. We watch it on HBO Now, roughly to 30 to 45 minutes after it starts. Yeah. So it's just whenever we are able to all three sit down and watch it, and then watch it for an hour, and then we start immediately after that. It's usually right around the 11 o'clock Eastern time mark. Sometimes it's a little earlier, sometimes a little later. But we always tweet and everything.
Yeah, you can go to our Twitter at Nerd Bunch, or you can join our Discord as well.
Yeah, Lou put that in there.
Thank you.
So yeah, I guess what my question is though. So regardless of whether she tries to set a trap for him or whatever, do you think that they are going to plop this white down in front of her, this undead being, and say there's a bunch more of these up north, and that's what we really need to be fighting? Would she say, "Holy crap, you're right, we need to band together"?
No.
Or do you think she'll say, "I don't give a damn about this, I just want my throne, and death to you all"?
No, I think she will either say, I will do this, and then she'll do the opposite because you can't trust her. She will either spring a trap on them while they're there, or she'll just charge Dany with a knife because she's just that crazy. She may blow everybody and herself up with fire water, or white water, whatever water they use. I forget what the name of it. Green water, fire starting
and
stuff.
then
And just
next
kill everyone and herself.
and then next season it's just like the White Walkers like throwing a party up north.
They actually come through like, "Rah!"
Whatever. What happened? They all killed each other. What a bunch of idiots!
We
What a
got
bunch of
this place.
idiots.
It's ours. Who knows? I just think she's not going to listen at all. She won't.
I think
maybe
that
that'll turn Jaime against her. Who knows?
yeah. So I think that as far as the wall coming down, now that the Night King has his own dragon, it's a perfect time for the wall to come down.
Could
And
be.
for him to start his
Coming
attack.
down.
And I think that's what we're gonna.
There may be a section of it to get destroyed, but it's not all coming down.
It's coming down, Opie. You better get over it.
I don't know if I don't know if the whole thing's gonna come down, but at least at Eastwatch, because that's what the Hound saw, right?
Yeah, he saw something crashing down at that point. So whatever he saw at that point, it could be just Eastwatch, but I think that'll cause a change reaction, bring the whole thing out. Because you got to remember, the wall is not the wall what it used to be. The wall is just a wall, but now it has 800, 1,000 foot of ice that's been built up around it all the way around. So a good blast, and maybe an ice blast or a fire blast to melt part of it, it just brings the whole thing down in an avalanche. So it could do it. I mean, it's still going to be a wall there. It's going to be a crumbled wall.
It'll just be in pieces on the ground.
Right, it'll be a massive heap of just a pile of a wall that fell. But
It's gonna be awesome. So we will be back.
happens, we don't know. But that's still my theory.
Yeah. So we will be back next week to absolutely 100% talk about that. Like I said, usually around right in there between the 10:45 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. As soon as we can all get on and watch it together, and then we'll do this right afterwards. We will be back. Blue fire-breathing dragon possibility. So that's what we were talking about. Is the dragon gonna breathe ice? And I think that would be super awesome. And then you're gonna have the shot with
fire,
with Drogon, and then they breathe at each other, and you know,
it's awesome.
that would be sweet. So that's it. We were a little bit over time, but this we had to because there was so much cool stuff that happened in this. Tomorrow night we'll be back at our usual time, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna be playing we're gonna be finishing Wolfenstein: The Old Blood.
Yeah,
leading into Tuesday, Uncharted: Lost Legacy comes out.
Nobody likes that game.
Is that your birthday?
Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
My birthday, playing my favorite game series ever, Tuesday. So we're going to be streaming that all day starting at 9 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday. We don't normally stream during the day, but I took the day off for that because it's my birthday and it's Uncharted. So we're going to stream that all day during the day. Dan's going to play 8 o'clock. Boo, Uncharted is terrible. Lou says, can we get a mod to ban the mod?
Let me ban him real quick.
Can we have a mod ban the mod in the channel?
And then, so yeah, normal schedule, 8 p.m. Eastern till midnight, Monday through Thursday. Friday, the last couple of weeks, we've been streaming around 10 Eastern on Mixer because we're doing the co-streaming thing on that. So Dan and I both run a stream concurrently, side by side, which is really cool.
You should watch. I drink alcohol.
He does, and he usually drinks too much, and it's funny.
He sings lots of songs, so it's pretty fun.
Then Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, I'll be playing something else. And then next Sunday night is this show talking about what is going to be an epic season finale. Maybe the most epic one we've had yet.
Epic this. It would be epic in the control.
It would be super cool. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much to all the new followers and people chatting with us and hanging out and the lurkers and everybody else, the subs. We love doing this. We're going to try to think of another show to do because we've only got one more of these, but we like doing this on Sundays.
Surprise them with that. Why you ruin the surprise?
But they don't know what the show
Rift Tracks. I went to Rift Tracks this past Thursday and they did the 5 Doctors episode. It's an episode of Doctor Who with the 5 Doctors. It was crappy, but it was super funny. Anyways, so we can talk about that Doctor Who thing you want to do.
What? You're not supposed to tell?
I'm sorry. Quit cheating.
Game of Thrones is awesome. We're just gonna rewatch. We're just gonna redo Game of Thrones starting from the first episode.
We celebrate their entire catalog of Game of Thrones. We're gonna do Ballers next.
I mean, it's not a bad show. What?
Well, Opie straight off. I said Ballers.
And Opie says, forget that.
Yes.
Opie is not interested in doing that at all.
Anyways, let's get out of here.
Yeah, we're out of here, guys. Thank you so much to everybody for being here, and until tomorrow night. Opie thought we were leaving. He thought we were still on.
Opie just like, screw Ballers. I'm out. It's just left.
So, guys, we'll be back at tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, finishing up Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. So until then, we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye, son.